Blog Talk Radio.
Recruiting. Why is the music going on twice? Hey, nothing ever works well. I got to tell you, I was trying a new headset so I could talk into a microphone that comes right out in front this morning. 2 minutes before the show starts, I realized it's not working properly. So here I am back with my regular mic. It's March 18th, 2015, when, let me see what I want to talk about today. It's about something I wrote on Facebook, on my Facebook group, just a couple of weeks ago. When I write on, what's going on? Oh, boy. Like, I'm not playing that music. Why is it starting? There's always some kind of problem. Anyway, I was on my Facebook group, right? And whenever I want to use an impersonal pronoun, I use she instead of he. She instead of he. And you know what? I get a lot of flack for it because the people complain. They say it sounds forced. And of course it does, because the way they talk normally, sexist. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Am I doing something wrong? Let me see. Okay, let's go again. Me. Okay. Anyway, it's sexist to say he all the time. And here's my proof, okay? Does anybody think God is a woman? All the religious people, they say that when we refer to God as he, it's really gender neutral. And maybe that's true. It might be true in their minds, but I'm pretty sure the effect isn't like that. That's what counts, the effect. If I was writing about football, and I said she this and she that, I could understand people getting mad at me. I could understand them getting grumpy because the players, they're all men. But I'm talking about recruiting, and half the people are women. Yeah. So why shouldn't I make an effort to represent them pronoun-wise? I am fighting, I admit it, a battle for the truth, a battle for justice, and the North American way. And if you don't like it, go join the Taliban. They shot Malala in the face because she wanted to go to school. And I'm as cranky as the next guy. I didn't like it. I want you to know that. I didn't like it when people started saying chairperson instead of chairman. But you know what? I'm used to it now. It doesn't bother me anymore. And when you see what those jerks are doing in ISIS and the Taliban, just making a little effort to differentiate yourself from them, that seems worth it. It's not such a burden. Now that I screwed up my introduction because of the stupid noise and my stupid microphone, I'm going to take you to the most liberated recruiting show on the planet. Jerry, what show is this?
The Recruiting Animal Show!
You're welcome. He's not here. I think he's at SourceCon. I don't know. I'm usually, he doesn't like to show that he's not present. But we've got a guest today from Jerry's Facebook group, the prize-winning best group of 2014, best recruiting discussion group. And she's as sweet as candy. I can only assume because her name is Carmel Jordan. And I know she's here, right? Carmel, are you here?
Yes, I am. Oh. I'm sweet by name, but not by nature. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's nice. You've got a little tag. And, with a name like that, it is an icebreaker. Do you talk to candidates about it? Do they right away say, oh, Carmel, isn't that an odd name?
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
Are you a foreigner? Do you have an accent, or is it my mistake?
I'm a foreigner. Oh, gosh, you're really trying to get in trouble. Yes, I'm originally from Ireland.
Okay, and is Carmel a common name there?
It is. It's an Irish name. It's Our Lady of Mount Carmel. It's in France, and that's why
really?
it was
I
named
thought
that.
Mount Carmel was in Israel near Jerusalem,
and it is too.
Carmel
and there's
wine.
Carmel, Indiana, and Carmel, California.
Okay, and we've also got Jordan Wines here in Canada. Jordan Wines.
Yes.
Okay,
so
and
yes.
so you're also.
So I looked out. It is a good name. Yeah.
Sweet and winey. Okay, did you plan on singing today? I was doing some breathing exercises this morning.
No, I never plan on singing, but and I'm really. I did Second City and everything, but I'm a really terrible singer.
Hold on, you did Second City and you're afraid?
I did. I'm not afraid. I'm just terrible.
It doesn't matter. So am I. So let's pick a song and get it over with. Okay. Some people don't like.
All right.
What song?
I don't know. Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here.
Yeah, we don't know the same song. So I guess no song. I don't like you, but
I don't know what
but
that
I
song is.
love you.
Yeah, yeah. Maureen knows it. Maureen.
I don't know what that song is.
Maureen. Okay, let's go. Everything, I got to get to the show because it's a discomforting start. Anyway, you're a third-party recruiter. Am I right, Carmel?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How many years' experience do you have? Getting right to the point. Right into the
I
business.
have a lot.
Well, just give me a year, okay? A lot doesn't mean
I probably started about 2000.
When? 2000?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cute accent.
Maureen. She's coming from your homeland. Okay. Do you have a specialty, Carmel?
I do not have a specialty. What I do is I work for a firm that supports a lot of vendor-managed clients, and I basically help out every single place they need.
What does that mean?
So,
you're confusing me.
I'm sorry. Okay, I don't mean to be confusing. So basically, what I do is I work at this.
You're not supposed to say that word, okay? Basically, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was. I didn't read that on your
there's
page.
a list. Go ahead.
And basically, it's one of the words. Okay, what I do, non-basically, is I work for a company called Computer Resource Solutions, which is the best staffing firm in the whole world. And we support Fortune 500 companies. We have a lot of vendor-managed agreements with them. And what my job is...
I got to tell you something, too. Your LinkedIn profile is almost non-existent. I couldn't figure out what you do. Now I'm completely flustered. Are you a recruiter? Yes, you said you are.
Yes, I am a recruiter. I am absolutely a recruiter.
You get job orders?
I don't get job orders, but I do fill job orders.
You filled... Okay, you don't do any new business development.
No, I work on a split desk.
Okay, and so do you source people, yes or no?
Yes, I source people and I do full life cycle recruiting.
Okay. And you are a generalist? You don't work in any specific profession?
I am a generalist. I work in every industry and every profession.
And when you say you're working with vendor-managed solutions, what does that mean?
What it means is that a lot of our clients have a centralized staffing solution, and we're one of the vendors that support the centralized
What's a centralized staffing solution?
A centralized staffing solution is where they use a third-party company, like let's say a Fieldglass or something like that, Beeline, to manage all the vendors. Okay, and so you're not. So I mean, if I called you as a recruiter, or called that one of your clients, I'd get you or you're somebody in your company, and they'd say, look, we're going to limit you to a 15% fee, and you have to send all your candidates in through us. Is that what you do? No, it's not a 15% fee. Okay, well, what's your role? If are you in the company that's doing the vendor management? I don't understand. No. I'm one of the vendors that support. So what I do is I do the recruiting for these companies. So we get. Are you in an RPO? Is that it? No, it's not an RPO. Lots of people ask me that. Can anybody help me? No, it's not an RPO. Does anybody understand what she does?
Yes, she's a third-party recruiter who supports larger companies that use VMSs. That's all. Yes.
What does that mean, Alex? I don't understand.
That means that you've got a bank that has 15 recruiting firms that they use. They manage them through a VMS. She's one of the firms that they're using. Okay. So she's sort of dedicated to certain clients. That's why there's no business development. Yeah, right.
Go ahead. Right. Help me, Alex. You'll be your partner. Go on.
Okay, thank you. I thought pretty much that's what I was saying.
Oh, God, I don't understand. Yeah, he's at least from the United States. How long did it take you to get good as a recruiter, Carmel?
Oh gosh, you covered this last week.
Hey,
I heard
with a different person. With a different
I know,
person.
you beat the
like
crap
that?
out of him. Let me see. How long did it take me to get good? It probably takes. I don't know. I never had any phone reluctancy. I would say it probably took me maybe 6 months.
That's all?
Maybe a year. Like you know yourself. You start and straight out the gate, you have beginner's luck, but then you get the crap beat out of you, and you have a few people drop off. And kind of once you learn to manage candidates, and
what does that mean, manage a candidate? What does that mean, manage a candidate? What does that mean?
Well, what it means to me is initially setting up expectations up front with them about what, when I call you, expect you to call me back at a certain time, your salary is not a moving target, all of that, kind of watching for red flags, finding out what other offers they have going on, find out if they're going to be what I call a jumper, that they'll get the offer and they'll jump, or they'll suddenly have 3 or 4 other offers that magically appeared that you never heard about, so that kind of stuff. So that's what I term managing a candidate.
It took you 6 months to get that under your belt. Is that what you're saying?
It probably took me, six months to a year.
Well, what was the hardest part about that? You say, part of it's just admin. The rest is red flags. What kind of red flags? Can you think of an example of when you saw a red flag and, you said, I'm going to look for this later on too? This is a lesson for me?
Oh, yeah, like all the time. Let me see, for example, people that say, they have nothing else going on. If they have a highly sought-after profile, let's say they're an IT auditor or something like that, and they have nothing else going on, that just for me is very hard to believe. So straight away, that's a red flag for me. I'm like, okay,
what do you say to them?
Else.
Well, do you confront them?
Of course I confront them.
What do you say?
Like, it's like, gosh, you have such a great background. That's kind of hard to believe you have nothing else going on. Have you applied for any jobs? And then they're like, maybe I actually have. Oh, right. Did any recruiters? And while I'm talking to them, I will do a quick Google search of other, let's say, IT auditor jobs, and I'll start listing out companies. I was like, do you think you applied to this company? And then they're like, I might have. And, just kind of start digging and talking to them.
Why are they lying to you to start off with?
Why are they lying? You'd have to ask them that.
They all lie.
Well,
that's why.
Who said that?
Alejandro.
So
let me ask you this: are you doing mostly consulting, Carmel?
I mostly do. It's not consulting. It is all W-2. It's all W-2 to our firm. It's mostly $50-$60 pay rates and above.
Right, but they are consultants. They're
W-2s.
They're consultants. They're not 1099, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's not direct hire. It's all. Okay. They're all CRS employees.
Okay.
What does that mean? You're on these are all contract employees?
Yes. They all have the pleasure of working with me day in, day out.
Say again?
Alejandro, how did you know that?
The way she was speaking about the clients jumping for money, the way she was talking about the way she was setting up jobs, the way she was talking about the VMS that she's dealing with, it just makes sense. I've worked at firms like that, and I've seen firms like that.
Uh-huh. Okay, so here's the thing. If these people are lying to you, it doesn't sound like they're really good liars. They'll confess as soon as you confront them and press them a few times. Is that right?
That would be right.
Okay, but you don't...
Well, they all like it. See, what happens is, from what I understand, is, right, so these consultants, for whatever reason, they think, recruiters are... Let's say they have this perception that recruiters aren't the sharpest people out there, and, they think, like, we make colossal amounts of money and that we're shaking them down and taking total advantage of them. So I think they think, like, sometimes that we won't be able to determine they've got other things going on or that we're not that up to date with what's going on in the marketplace. And, so that's what I think a lot of it is. So I think...
No. So they have... But why would they hide that information? Yeah, I've gone out to this company. Yes, I'm talking to another... So they
why would they hide it? Well, the same reason I would hide it, because they're afraid, you're going to, because they don't understand that I don't do business development. So they might think like, if I give this person, tell this recruiter, I'm...
But no. Here's
the model itself is a little more combative, though, Animal. The reality is people are worried about getting screwed on the spread. So that's very combative.
They don't want me calling. They're being like, "Hey, I heard you have an IT recruiter and getting that job order." They don't.
I'll move on. I'll wrap it up. Here's the thing. It sounds to me like they could say, "Yeah, I'm being considered somewhere else," without telling you the company. You weren't asking for the company name. It sounds like they might be afraid that you won't have any interest in them if you know that they're dedicated perhaps or almost committed somewhere else. That's what it sounds like they're hiding from. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. There's a bit of that too.
Okay, let me move on. Standard survey questions. Now you're dealing with these consultants. What are they, like Jerry's IT contractors? Is that what you're talking about?
Mostly I deal with other corporate recruiters. I deal with a lot of financial analysts, a lot of high-level accountants, a lot of contract administrators, a lot of marketing people.
So you're placing corporate recruiters?
I am.
Okay, so tell us something about them. Are they dumb, like Tim Sackett says, or are they just like you?
Just like me. They are far from dumb.
Okay. What kind of questions do you ask the recruiters? And what are the red flags that you see when you're talking to the recruiters?
The types of questions I ask the recruiters are like what volume recs you handled, what sourcing techniques you use, how do you manage your desk, how do you set expectations with managers, and kind of obvious red flags for me are people who are jumping about all the time. Another red flag, I haven't seen so much lately this year, but the last few years I kind of saw a lot of people that didn't have very robust LinkedIn profiles, robust
like yours?
social media.
Like yours?
I thought my LinkedIn profile was very good.
There's nothing on it. The last thing you'd call your LinkedIn profile is robust, okay? It's a rail.
Filled out.
Well, maybe there's two Carmel Jordans, and I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
It's completely filled out.
Why doesn't somebody else? Jerry would check if he was here. Somebody else look up Carmel Jordan. It's linked from the site. Okay?
Yeah, it's completely filled out.
What's this guy saying about me? Animal is confused about what she does. Status quo, eh? Yeah, I've never dealt with somebody like her. And that's the idea. She comes on the show, I ask her questions so she could explain it so you guys will understand. I don't know. I ask for help, and only one guy on the show helps me. How am I supposed to know you know?
No, my LinkedIn profile is completely filled out. And that picture you pulled off is that you have linked. That's my Twitter account. I have a different picture on LinkedIn.
Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. God,
sorry. Quite okay, but I promise you my current job is up there.
Recruiters, listen to me, please. You're placing recruiters. What do you look for? What is there any tips you'd give us right away based on your experience placing recruiters as to what a good recruiter is and what they should be doing? I mean, you know what the questions to ask that I should be asking you.
Okay. Well, all right. I think I understand that question. All right. Basically, what I look for is a good recruiter. I look at the quality of their resume. I also look at their LinkedIn profile, how they communicate, and I want to see, how if they have hunger, if they can think outside the box.
Well, how do you test if they think outside the box?
I ask them. I'd be like, what hard to find recs have you worked on? What did you do outside the box?
Did you have an example for us? Got an example?
Don't.
Have you ever done anything outside the box yourself?
I'd like to think I have.
But you don't remember any examples of that either, right? I understand. I wouldn't remember either. In fact, I might, but you don't remember. Do you remember anything you've done outside the box?
Do I remember anything I've done outside the box? Probably a couple of weeks ago, because we do consultants. A lot of the times we don't call into companies, and it's been years since we called into companies. But I had two recruiters. The market here for recruiters for Chicago is very, very tight right now. So I was, on LinkedIn, on the group.
Yeah, is this an answer? What are we going to wait all year?
I'm getting to the answer.
Does anyone want to be Jerry here today? They could complain. Hey, this stinks. This is lousy. There's a lot of people here. Anybody want to complain?
Stink?
No. I didn't say it.
Let her finish answering.
I didn't say it stinks, Carmel. But I don't feel normal unless there's someone stabbing me in the back every 2 seconds. I haven't look on Twitter just to see the people complain. At least when Jerry's here,
I don't see anybody complaining.
Okay. They're not complaining about you. They're complaining about me. Okay?
I can see why, yeah.
Let me ask. Yeah, okay. How many people did you recruit on Twitter last
Who
year?
needs Jerry when you've got her?
How many people
Good.
did I recruit on Twitter?
Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
And you didn't try? Did you try to recruit on Twitter?
Yeah, I've tried to recruit on Twitter.
But you haven't been successful?
No.
Okay. Facebook? Do you recruit on Facebook?
A little bit.
Oh, really? Have you had success? Have you placed anybody you found on Facebook?
I've had a bit of success because sometimes our clients need weird things. Like, for example, one of our clients who's a big insurance company needed somebody to just do some filing and stuff, so I'd stick it up on my Twitter wall, on my Facebook wall, and I got some responses. Things like that. I have actually.
You know what? I'm going to start leave this show talking like a newfie. I got to tell you, I'll be saying tings instead of things. Okay.
Okay. So, well, that would be a vast improvement for you.
Yeah, maybe. But look, on the Facebook though,
I'm looking.
You weren't actively sourcing. You're right, Maureen. She could replace Jerry. You weren't actively sourcing. You just posted an ad and somebody responded. Yeah. Okay. Fine. You didn't use graph search if it's still available or anything.
No, I didn't. I didn't use any of those things because the way I see it, I wouldn't want somebody doing something to me that I wouldn't do to somebody else. So I get all sorts of weird requests on Facebook, and I try to get recruited for weird stuff on Facebook, and I do not
let me move on.
Pay
please.
Attention to any of those, and I'm just like, weirdos.
So you said you ask your recruiting candidates what source, how do they source? What are you looking for there? What are you looking for? If they say I'm 100% LinkedIn, are you happy about that or unhappy?
I'm pretty happy.
What would you what's ideal? I'm just reading the SourceCon tweets. SourceCon's going on now, and they're talking about all these, different extensions on Chrome. Are you familiar with all of those? So that when
I'm not familiar with all of those. I use Google Plus a little, but not a lot. So what I'm looking for is people who, people that and a lot of people say this to me. They're like, oh, I use the job boards. So I'm not looking for people that use the job boards. I'm looking for people who use LinkedIn, who not just have a paid account and blast people out. Like, I have done that, and I've definitely got hires that way, but the most hires I've got and the solid relationships I've got are through using groups. I'm looking for people who know how to also network, who know how to get referrals off people. I'm looking for polished individuals.
Okay, you're recruiting from groups, and you know how to use referrals. Can you tell me, how do you get referrals? And build relationships. I don't even know what that means. Let's start there. Build relationships on LinkedIn. What does that mean? Is this of any interest to other people? I want to know. Do you want to know what she's talking about? I do.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
It's all interesting.
Yeah, what does it mean to build a relationship on LinkedIn?
All right. So for me, relationships, I'm not going to say the cheesy thing like all recruiters say, oh, relationships are everything. But for me, LinkedIn is really leveled the playing field. And I saw a big difference from when I was a corporate recruiter for a very short period of time. And I saw the difference between the way people speak to corporate recruiters and agency recruiters. So on LinkedIn, I started messing around and started joining groups. And like at first I was just like, posting my jobs, but I never got any traction. So then I started kind of studying up on the giver-taker mentality. So I've built a very good relationship with a contract management group there.
I've got to tell you something. Everybody says let the person talk. I've let you talk for the last 3 minutes. You haven't said a word, okay? You haven't. There's been no substance at all to what you said. So
all right, well, I was getting to the point. I was trying to set a background.
Start off to the point. You've built relationships in the contract. So you joined a group called Contract Management. Yes or no?
Yes, I did.
And how long have you been on it?
I've been on it 4 years.
Okay, and so you participate in the discussions there.
Yes,
is that
I
right?
do participate in the discussions.
Okay, so the people have gotten to know you just like on the Facebook group. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, and who else is on the contract management group?
You want specific names?
No, like contract managers. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of lawyers, a lot of contract managers. There's one guy in particular that works for Ariba who's been able to help me a lot.
He helps. Okay, so one guy, what does he do for you? What's his title?
Okay, well, what he did for me was, I don't remember his exact title, but 4 years ago I had a job that I had not a clue what it was. And he was able to, break it down for me and talk to me one-on-one about it. So that was...
Look, is anybody else dissatisfied with what she just said? Alejandro's 20 minutes in, and Animal still doesn't know what she does. Is that my fault or her fault, okay? She just...
That was Zeller, buddy. That was Zeller.
She joined this group 4 years ago. I said, you built relationships? What does that mean? She said, well, there's some lawyers there. I'm thinking, lawyers... And whatever the other guys
were. Yeah, it's a contract management group. Of course there'd be lawyers there.
Yeah, but you didn't tell us you're placing lawyers. What are you in that group for? And then I said, give me an example of something you got out of it. You said 3 years ago I had a hard search and this guy helped me. I don't know what you're talking about with your use of LinkedIn, your sophisticated use of LinkedIn. Okay, you confused me entirely. Before I move on, does anybody want to take her side?
I mean,
on,
she got to the point, but it was a little long. I belong to groups, and I'm able to network. And I got high-level advice from a lawyer on a contract.
All right,
it helped
the
with
next
the search.
time
Boom,
I come on a
tape.
radio show, I will totally remember to say it that way. I'm really sorry I didn't say it right.
No, it wasn't good enough. He didn't help you very much. Okay, let's move on. Estimated time. You're a third-party recruiter. Did you talk to the client at all?
No, very rarely.
Who do you deal with in-house?
Who do I deal with in-house? I don't deal with anybody. We have an account manager that is client-facing.
Okay, so no, it's in your house. You've got you work with your project manager or account manager. Is that right?
That's correct. Someone's after saying I'm clueless. Are they saying I'm clueless?
They're probably saying
Glenn
I'm
Hall.
clueless. Okay. Well, we can't look at Twitter too much. We gotta. I'm clueless. I don't know what he's talking about. The Glenn Hall. Okay. So look, where are we? So you deal with your project manager. That person. Do you have to fight with that person a lot about the?
Oh
the
yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you give us an example? Do you remember when you thought somebody was great, and this account manager who doesn't do anything himself said
exactly.
no.
How did you know they didn't do anything? My gosh! And you're not even here.
I've worked with those people as well. Okay, you go out in the field, you do all the work, and then they think they know what's going on.
Yeah.
Give us an example of when you've done battle with one of these guys.
All the time.
Yeah. Okay. You don't want to give a specific example.
All right, I'll give you a specific example. Okay. Well, because I've been here so long and I've done so well, usually they'll do what I say. But the last time I had severe battle with one of them was, and I'm going to try to say this quickly and cohesively, is there was this job open at one of our Fortune 500 clients. I saw it, and they were saying, the account manager was saying, oh, it's this type of person. I was like, no, it's a high-level contracts manager. I have a person. So we had a big fight about it, over and back, and I was like, listen, you are putting my person in. So he did put it in, and she wound up getting the job.
Yeah, figures. The thing is, when you're in, your account manager doesn't arrange for you to have at least a half-hour conversation with the hiring manager directly?
We sometimes have conference calls. We sometimes have exposure.
Do you feel that's one of the weaknesses of the model, that you don't have enough client-facing as a recruiter?
Absolutely. That's absolutely a weakness of the model.
Daryl Disco said many jobs don't require, someone said many jobs don't require fancy sourcing techniques. I guess Carmel agrees. That's not what she's looking for. All these guys at SourceCon, though, that's what they're into. It's all kinds of exotic stuff. So I don't understand. Are those things necessary? She doesn't think so.
It depends on the job, right?
It depends on the job. It depends on the market. It depends on a lot of things. It's like, for me, in our business...
How long have you been in the United States? 12
How long
years?
have I've been here
20 years?
No, 15 years.
15 years, and you still got an accent? I just can't get over it, okay?
You can't get over it.
Well, why would you? Maybe that's you know what? It's a selling point.
I go home about twice a year and get it Irished up.
Okay. Okay, do
and
you
I talk to my mom
culture?
every day.
You don't interview for culture, do you? That's not a part of your screening, is it?
It is. I mean, it is.
It is. So can you give me an example of how you screen for culture?
Well, mostly actually I really can't.
Okay, at least that's an honest answer. You know why? Because third-party recruiters, they don't screen for culture.
Yeah.
That's the answer. They just look for technical ability, and then they pass it on. Let the hiring manager screen for culture.
That's the way I feel
about
kind
of
it.
People they want. Okay.
It depends on the relationship with the client. The question isn't fair to her because she's got a standoff relationship with the client. They're going through a system to begin with. They're not on the inside looking in. If you've got a tight relationship with your client, then you're going to know. Different banks have different cultures. Different clients have different cultures. You understand what they're looking for. They need someone collaborative. They need this. They need that.
But you're a little too wordy as well.
Ask any hiring manager about culture, they are always going to say, I need someone collaborative. Like when I do screen for culture, I have a bit screen for culture, but it's such a tight market. But I have clients where I have repeat candidates that wind up working there, so I get to know the manager, so I get to know about the culture. And I know there's one particular department where I have placed about 6 people over the years, and I know for culture from them that I would never send anyone kind of meek or mild-mannered over there because the manager would, go to town on her.
Okay, so that's something, that's something very simple.
When I have intelligence...
we don't want any pussies in this department. You got to be a bit tough, a bit thick-skinned. That's not complicated. Does that take 1,000 articles to talk about it?
No, it doesn't.
Know.
No, it was trial and error. It's part of the I said I'm a good recruiter. And every single day I'm learning something new. New people come in, we train them, I hear something new from them, I learn something new from candidates, I learn a new skill set. You never just get to the stage where I'm good.
I got to tell you, there's a rule on this show nobody gets. Be specific. Be specific.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be
I'm not
general.
being specific.
Oh, I learned stuff, but I'm not going to tell you what I learned.
All
Candidates
right.
teach stuff, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to leave you going home empty-handed, and you can say that Recruiting Animal Show is sometimes entertaining, but there's no substance, okay? That's not my fault. I'm begging all the time for these guys to tell us something. They don't want to. What can I do? What was the last time a candidate taught you something?
I really opened that can of worms, didn't I?
Forget about it. Let's move on.
Let me think about that.
You think about it, okay?
I'll think about it and ask me another question.
Do you prefer any specific kind of interview question? Like there's behavior. We had a discussion on my Facebook group. There's behavioral interviews. There's situational, which I don't know what it is. There's hypotheticals. What's your favorite interview question? Or is it, hey, can you do this? How long have you been at?
I am strictly a technical interviewer.
Okay. Anybody want to, there's a lot of people here, and I know they're recruiters, and I know they've got ideas.
Do you think that's a reflection of your model? You're doing consultants, right? So are you mostly concerned with can they come in and get the job, hit the ground running, and get started? That's because of the model you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Does anybody else want to ask Carmel?
Was that answer specific enough? I'm sorry.
Is anybody? No. Does anybody want to ask her a question? Any questions? Everybody's quiet except Alejandro. Even Maureen's not saying anything anymore. Nobody? Okay. Okay, I'll continue. I just thought I'd give you guys a break.
Oh, brilliant. You're going to continue. Great.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I say. Yeah, brilliant. You don't handle salary negotiations then at all, right?
No, I don't.
But you did say something about asking these guys about salary or nailing them down. Is that your job?
Oh, yes, because I don't handle salary, but I determine the hourly rate that they will get paid, and we pay, as I tell them, to the job, not to the person, and the hourly rate is not a moving target.
So when you go out looking for these hourly people, my impression is always that lots of them are just already in your database. Is that
no?
You,
I
no?
wish that was true. Lots of people, including the recruiters I work with and the account managers, somehow think they're magically there. No.
Huh?
So what do you use for sourcing?
I use everything. I do use job boards. I do use our existing database. I get a lot of referrals, and I do use LinkedIn.
Okay. Is that Rebecca? No? Who asked
No.
that question? Okay. And who is it? You can say who you are if you'd like to.
It's Holly Mallows.
Hi,
Holly Mallows. Oh, yeah, you're practicing. Okay. But your LinkedIn, no, your Twitter is Holly Sourcing Guru or something like that. What's your Twitter name?
Yes, Holly Source Guru.
Holly Source Guru. So what do you think of Holly Source Guru? I'll ask you a question today. What do you think of Carmel's ideas about sourcing? It sounds like you might like the exotic stuff, the 50 Shades of sourcing.
I do, but I got to do what I get the most bang for my buck out of. So, I mean, I have to do what makes sense. And, of course, building pipelines, developing relationships.
Okay,
all
I'll
those
interview
things.
you. I'll interview you in 3 weeks. Okay, I wanted
Right.
you to criticize her. Thanks. No. I misled you. Okay. So let me see. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask Carmel, Holly, while you're talking? Any questions come up while you've been listening?
Okay, good.
What do you find to be your most valuable resource? Is it your LinkedIn relationships? Is it searching in LinkedIn? What's your best resource?
Probably would be LinkedIn.
Yeah, she said that about 10 times already. Thank you, Holly.
Right,
I really
sorry.
appreciate your input. I don't want you to think I don't, but I'm going to ask another question.
Okay.
So, is there I'm not really familiar with the kind of searches you're working. Do you work any perm or permanent jobs?
No perm. I work no perm. I work all from 6-month to 3-year contracts.
Okay. What I was going to ask is there any difference in the difficulty between the different searches that you work on? Are some searches, fairly easy and a certain kind fairly difficult?
I find them all difficult because they're all a higher skill set. It's a very competitive market. I'm competing against people who think they want perm jobs. I'm competing against for the Big Four who, frankly, will pay people more. I kind of recruit the people that the Big Four don't want. And, so all the searches are difficult. For me, one of the easier searches to do right now is probably contract managers / lawyers, only because I've been doing it so long. I have such an extensive pipeline that I can put feeders out when I get a job and work on something else, or I have people that I've identified before who, like there's one girl who's worked for me for nearly 4 years that I keep deploying out to other contracts. So that might be a bit more manageable.
If you were going to start your own company tomorrow, as a solo practitioner, what would you do? What field would you work? How would you get your job orders?
If I was going to start my own company tomorrow, what would I do?
I stumped you. Okay, forget about it. No, forget about it.
Yeah, I have no desire to start my own company.
Okay. Well, it was hypothetical. That's what we call a hypothetical interview question. Okay, so
good. I'll remember to spell that. Right.
What about your schedule? I mean, what time do you get up in the morning?
What time do I get up? I get up at 5:30.
And how much sleep do you get during the evening, night?
Oh, I get 8 to 9 hours.
Oh, really? Okay, so you need to be refreshed.
I pamper myself. I take very, very good care of myself.
No, there's always articles every day on Twitter and Facebook about take naps, get 8 hours sleep, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you get up at 5:30. What time do you get into work, or do you work from home?
I do split. I work 3 days remote and 2 days in the office.
Okay, so what time are you starting to work?
If I'm working from home, I probably start around 7, and if I'm coming into the office, probably around 8:30.
Okay. So the first thing you do at 7 o'clock, what are you doing?
Oh, checking my email.
For candidates writing back to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. And how long
That's
does that
like
take?
the first thing I check. I'm just like, who's wrote to my LinkedIn? Well, I usually this is terrible. When I kind of wake up, I'm looking at my phone. I can see, because I was pushed forward to my phone, see who responded to my LinkedIn, because that to me is just like so exciting. And that's the first thing I look, and then I see what the wonderful account managers who we've discussed already don't do anything, see what they want, and then.
And how long does that take? How long does that take?
Probably 15, 20 minutes.
That's all to get through your email? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So 7:30, what do you start doing then?
I start on my first job.
It sounds like you consider this to be a high-pressure job. Every search is difficult, even though you've been in the business for about 15 years, I think you said, right?
Yes.
And you're excited to see who's going to reply to your outreach stuff like that.
Are you excited when people apply to your outreach?
Yeah. But it's not a sure thing. I mean, it's a gamble. That's what I'm trying to say. So, is it pleasant? Do you enjoy your work, or is it?
Oh, I love it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it.
Okay. And so 7:30, what do you do?
All right, I start on my first search.
What does that mean?
So what I try to do is I try to work about 4 jobs a day. So I block my calendar into what I call power hours. So I do a number of things. I will post a job on our internal website because we spent a whole lot of money doing it, and I was part of the team that did it. And then I start making calls. That's always my first line of defense. Start making calls, depending on who it is or what it.
At 7:30.
Yeah.
At 7:30.
Yeah, if I'm calling the East Coast, I recruit nationwide.
Oh, okay, and you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 7:30, it's 8:30 there. So in New York or wherever.
Or it's 7:30. I don't care. I mean, I've called people, or it depends. If it's marketing.
How early will you call people?
Probably no earlier than 7:30, 7-ish.
Okay. How late will you call them?
I am the type of person, I finish working up early, much to the disgust of people that work here. I probably finish up around 4:30 myself.
Okay. And on LinkedIn, it sounds like, are you using in-mails primarily, or do you find where they're working and then phone them up?
I use primarily in-mails.
And what's your percentage of response?
I am at 48% response.
Oh, you actually track it?
Oh, yeah. Well, they track it for you, yeah.
Okay. And any questions about that? Am I missing something here? I'm asking her.
Well, what I do is, because I'm able to drive better results, and I had a fight with the sales rep about this, because he was telling people.
Can you hold on one sec? Alejandro.
I'm going to cough, actually, so
yes,
this works out perfectly.
Hear me?
You're on the phone. What are you telling me that? If you're muting, you're muting yourself. Okay, you know what?
No, I was trying to get a question. She said that she didn't want.
Coughing. Well,
she said that she.
I'm finished coughing. I'm done.
Okay, well, how come you've got 2 LinkedIn profiles? I went to the wrong one. Other people.
Because I have wrote to LinkedIn a zillion times, and then please take down the other LinkedIn profile, because when I was a twit, I started one, and I didn't really do anything with it, and then I started another one, and that's why. And it's just kind of got to the stage where I have better things to be doing with my life than.
Can't you go in and delete your own profile?
No. Maybe you can. I don't know. Can you go in?
I won't put it out to the Twitter world. Jeremy Ames is here. He knows everything.
Jeremy Ames? Can I delete my own?
He's making fun of your accent as well. Okay. You're too Pacific for him. Not specific. Too Pacific, okay? That means you're not lively enough, he said. Okay, and you're Irish. You're supposed
to hear
to
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you said that you're
recruiting
people the Big Four don't want.
Yeah.
So are you saying that B candidates are okay for most of your clients, or you're just? I mean, go deeper with that. What does that mean?
Alejandro. I was going to ask that myself. That is a good question.
Yeah, because a lot of the times a B/C candidate is good enough, because they're only going to pay for a B candidate. We addressed culture earlier. they don't need someone who's going to be a perfect culture fit. They need somebody who's either going to bang out a load of contracts, get them redline, get them done, or if they're recruiting, hire 30 to 40 people in and out. So they need someone for X amount of time to do X function. And, sometimes we do get A players. Sometimes the universe all aligns and an A player is available and they're not deployed, and I can snitch them up and send them to my client, and a lot of the time they wind up getting hired.
Aren't they too expensive if you're going for the losers?
Oh!
Yeah, okay. You know what? I got to tell you, I didn't mean that in a bad way. But Alejandro had a good point. You can make everybody. All the articles say how to find, the purple squirrel, how to find the perfect talents, the top talent. We don't need top talent. That's what Alejandro was saying. You don't need top talent.
You don't need top talent, and sometimes you do get it. Sometimes the environment, the things just align, and then sometimes the girl I alluded to earlier, who works for me all the time, she is an A player, but just because of different situation in her life, it suits her to work 6 months and work overtime and then be off for a couple of months and then work another project for me. So it depends. But a lot of the times they won't pay for the A players, and they don't need the A players. They need somebody that can come in, deploy, get the project done, get in and get out.
Okay. Jeremy Ames, if you're still on, you got a question for her? If you want to pep things up a bit, help me, okay? I got to talk for an hour here. And she doesn't do any new business development, so it's got to be strictly about recruiting, okay? Now, let me see. You said that you call people who aren't, ready to make a move. And do you persuade people to actually leave? Because I remember you said you're talking to people who think they want perm, and you have to sell them on a contract. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are those guys already working in a permanent job, and you have
sometimes
to
they are,
them?
Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. If they are working,
let's focus on that. I just read recently that it's almost impossible to switch someone from a permanent job to a contract role. Have you done that? And if so,
I
how?
have done it, and I've done it successfully. I actually have one girl working right now. She's a sourcing analyst. She's out at a Fortune 500 restaurant client. So I found her profile up on LinkedIn, and I started talking to her. It wasn't immediate. It took me a good 4 months kind of nudging her, but I knew she was undercompensated for where she was, and she had a really long commute. And so I was able to offer her more compensation, even though she was going to lose her benefit package and her paid days off. But she was working like 50, 60 hours a week anyway, and she had a really long commute. So I was able to convince her.
So when you said you kept nudging her, what does that mean?
I would just keep in touch with her, send her an email every now and again, and let her know, hey, this job is open, or if I saw her.
Okay, but you didn't recruit. You didn't call her up and say this job at ABC company, job number X or job number 22 but you weren't able to recruit her the first time you tried.
I wasn't able to recruit her the first time. No.
Okay. When they say I need somebody who's a good problem solver or something like that. Do you ever get that kind of request?
I get it all the time. Every single 100% of job orders, I would say they need someone who's detail orientated. They need someone who works well with others and who's a good problem solver.
Well, how do you figure out if they're detail? How do you figure out if they're detail oriented? Do you try?
I don't know.
No, you don't. Okay, and works well with others.
Well, if I look at their resume and there's bad spellings in it and
you know what I mean.
I probably am like, this person
what
is
not detail oriented. What do they mean when they say detail oriented? What do they mean exactly? Do you know?
No.
No. Okay, that's just fluff, right?
It's just a catchphrase. I mean,
okay.
Like it's just...
No, don't go on about it. So if someone asked you for a good problem solver, how would you figure out if someone was a good problem solver?
Well, I suppose I would give them a problem.
No. Here's what you would do. You would ask them about a problem they were recently had to solve.
Okay.
I read that this week. Anybody disagree with me? Anybody disagree?
I cannot disagree with you. That is excellent.
Anybody? I'm waiting. Anybody on the line who disagrees or who wants to give me a better a better way to do it? Because I can't ever figure out. They say, how do you know that you've got someone who's good with change? How do you know someone who's blah blah blah? I don't know how to figure those things out.
Of course, you ask for examples. That's the standard tactic, right? Tell me about how you solve this problem somewhere else. That's how you know they're a fit.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Somebody wrote, he said, I will correct your bad speaking habits in an interview. Do you do that? Do you coach somebody? Say, look, you're talking to me. You're not saying your THs properly. Don't do that.
No, I absolutely do not. I absolutely don't. We have recruiters.
What if they speak too fast?
Most of the people I'm dealing with are my age or maybe older. Are you really going to is one coaching session for me significantly going to change them? I want the product the manager sees. If it's something fixable like their presentation or the suit or something, but the way a person speaks, even if they long enough can correct their speech pattern through the interview, once they get on site, they're going to revert to their normal speech pattern. I want the manager, what they see is what they get. I don't believe in overcoaching candidates.
Okay. Speech. Okay, you said you do LinkedIn measures your response rate. Are there any other metrics that you track? You keep any numbers related to your work?
I don't keep them, but my darling boss, keeps them.
Like what?
Apparently, for every 27 submits that I get out, I get 5 hires.
27 submits. What's that, a resume?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody got a comment on that? Jerry's usually got a comment on ratio.
Because I don't really, I just look at revenue, and he's all into like, this many submits and this many calls and things, and he shows me these reports, and I'm
do you
like,
do you prioritize or triage your orders? Let's say, how many account managers do you? Okay, so and if you put something at the bottom of the pile and say, this one's not too likely to get, is that a problem for you as well with the account manager?
Oh yeah, absolutely it is.
And what do you say? This is a crap order. I'm never going to fill this. I got more bang for my buck.
More or less, I explain. I do a number of things. I either
do these people, do the account managers, do they dislike you, or is it a friendly back and forth?
I'd have to ask them.
They don't like you. I can tell. You would have said, no, we're good buddies. Okay. Let me see. What's the one thing you've accomplished in your career that you're most proud of? That's one of the standard questions people ask. Do you ask that question? No,
I don't, because it's a stupid question.
Why is it stupid?
Because my career is nowhere near over, and I mean, I've accomplished so much, and then there's so many things where I'm not being specific. Probably one of the proudest things that I have achieved.
Yeah, you said it's a stupid question. Are you going to answer or think about it?
No, I'm not really going to answer. No,
you can't think on the show. There's no thinking.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't.
Okay?
I can't think of anything.
Thinking doesn't work
my
on
career
radio.
has been a waste. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Do you ask them what they do for fun? Because, I was advised once to do that by a guy who worked at.
I really don't care what they do for fun.
They said you can tell if it's a high energy person or not. If they like, reading political articles on the internet, that's a low energy person. If they like, playing basketball, that's a high energy person. You don't agree with that, right?
I mean, I generally don't have time, and usually I'm looking at, I've completely stalked them. Like when I'm talking to them, I'm looking at their LinkedIn and their Facebook, and I usually can see. But a lot of the times, I really don't.
Okay, that's like the culture thing. You're not really interested. You don't ask them questions like this either. Last example. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your career?
No.
Okay. Do you ever take a flirty tone with the male candidates or clients?
Oh,
you don't
absolutely.
Oh, what do you mean by that? I mean, you're not doing it with me, okay?
This is kind of flirty.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I do. I take it with girls as well. There's very little I won't do to make a buck.
Okay. Well, you didn't explain what you meant, but you're telling, okay. So you persuade people to change their minds. You flirt a little, but you do cold. Do you do any cold calls, or is it just email to get in touch with people?
I do no cold calls.
Do you believe in them? I guess you don't.
I do believe in them, and I think I'm going to have to start doing them because the market is so tight.
Uh-huh. Have you ever had to take a $50,000 punch in the stomach, so to speak, as Jerry calls it, when you think something's in the bag and the person suddenly accepts a position at another company?
Absolutely, absolutely. Not at this firm, but when I was doing search, at partnership employment, that happened 3 times in 1 year, and it was not good.
How do you keep your? Did you learn something, and how do you keep your motivation going?
Well, from there, I wound up separating and taking another opportunity, and definitely that went back to looking at what I was talking about earlier, candidate control, looking for red flags. Like one case in particular, the woman was supposed to relocate, and then in the end she decided not to, and I remember at the time, because you can always tell what your gut at the time, thinking, but I didn't want to dig deeper. So I always, when it's a relocation or something that's really going to be big in someone's life, I always dig deeper now.
Oh, tell me how you dig deep.
How I dig deep?
Yeah.
I dig deep. I, go over it with them. I was like, are you sure you want to relocate? Where have you thought about where you'd live? Do you know what it's like to live in Illinois? Because a lot of people think they want to relocate to Illinois, and I'm like, do you know what it's actually like to live here? Have you thought about where you're going to live? Do you know what the cost of living is? Do you have family? Have you thought about where they're going to go to school? Those types of questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and if you send somebody out, who does that person leave your control, and then who does the follow-up from the interviews? The account manager or you? Okay. So
the account manager, I do the follow-up on the interviews with the candidates. Then the account manager does it on the client end.
Yeah, I understand you don't deal with the client. You told me. What I want to ask you is, what if the candidate goes out and then, had agreed with you to that he or she would be looking for a certain amount of money, and then when they tell him about the job, comes back to you and say, I want more for that. What do you do?
That happens all the time. And I just tell them, unless they have a significant, compelling reason, unless it's like a grade up from what we originally talked about, I always just tell them no.
Okay, and so you're willing to have them walk away. You're willing to have them walk away.
Absolutely. I mean, because, we go over the pay, because we go over the pay so many times, and I go over, this is what it's going to be. Are you comfortable with this rate? Reiterate it, because after the interview, if you decide you need more, it's not going to be there once you start working there. So, yeah.
Last call for questions.
What's your typical spread?
Carmel. Is that you, Alex, talking again?
Yeah. Somebody asked what my typical spread is?
Yeah.
It's about probably $30.
Not as a percentage. You're usually looking for $30 on the spread.
Well, we're probably marking up is probably about 48%, and then we're probably out of that. It depends. It's probably 21% is after we pay them and all of that.
Okay. Final question. Unless there's something you think I haven't asked you that you really wanted to talk about. Is there something?
No.
No, there isn't.
We established my career was a waste of time and that I can't answer.
You didn't come with any big topics that you want to share with the world. I understand, You've been working in the job for 15 years. Why share? Why? You've got nothing burning that you want people to know. I understand, okay? But what about voicemail? Do you leave voicemail? You don't make cold calls. So that's an answer. You already answered that question.
I do leave voicemails, but I was reading an article this morning about Coke taking out their voicemails, so I am leaving less and less voicemails. I send a lot of texts.
Oh, you do? A lot of text? Like what kind of text?
Oh, I will send a text being like, hey, I saw your resume on CareerBuilder, on LinkedIn, on wherever, in our database. I've got this position. Call me back or text me back at some time to set up a time to talk.
Okay, Carmel, one second. What?
Look at yourself. Like, if you get a call from some unknown number, will you pick it up? But if you get a text, and it's proven, once you hear that text button go off, it just kills you. You have to answer it.
Okay.
So people will answer text before.
okay. I'm not a text guy. Okay, but let's. You're talking to the wrong person. In certain ways, I'm in the Stone Age. Not most, though. Okay, so let me just do a bit of housekeeping. There's still lots of people on the line. If you want an after show, if somebody wants to run an after show, you can have.
Hello,
one.
lots of people.
Okay, yeah, they're still here. It's you've been on for quite a while, and they're still here. Does anybody want to run an after show? I'll hand it over to you. Otherwise, we're at the end. Nobody's speaking up.
You don't have to be attractive as a recruiter. Just don't be a creepy stalker. Okay. Brian wrote that.
Stalker. Last thing.
I don't know. I'm reading Brian Cheney's tweet. You'd have to ask him what it is.
Okay. We'll talk to him later. Carmel Jordan.
We will.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Goodbye.